And to quote Sylvia Plath, fuck you, daddy.
Welcome back, everyone, to S1E1, a show where each week we pick a different sitcom, watch just the first televised episode, and forgetting anything we might know about the future run of that show, rate it and decide if it's a show we want to greenlight or cancel. This week we're going to be talking about Dads. Dads went 19 episodes with only one season on Fox. They were watching episode 1, which is called Pilot, originally airing September 27th, 2013. To get things started, I'm Jay Gags. With me, as always, the boys, Joe, Ferg, Nick, and Gordo. What's going on, guys?
Hey-o.
Hey.
I don't know where anyone's going to go with this one, but guys, we got so much Rocky Dennis, and I'm so fucking happy.
I know, I was so excited.
I'm just so happy to talk about Rocky Dennis.
If I was going to put any money, by the way, I thought for sure Joe was going to start this one with, what the Heil?
That's on the list. It is on there. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 options tonight, but...
So first, before anything, happy Father's Day. This is our Father's Day episode. Dads was a show. It made sense to do it this week. Happy Father's Day to Joe and Ferg, our resident fathers in the group.
Thank you.
Nope, Gordo.
Ahem.
There must be some weird calendar Happy Dog Day father thing that's available. It's probably
No. You know what? That's fine. Know who does the editing.
Does this come out on
No, it'll be a few days
after
before.
It'll be Thursday before.
So as far as this show goes, Dads, Fox show starring Seth Green and Giovanni Ribisi. It was created by Seth MacFarlane, which you could definitely tell when you watch the show. We'll get into that. Did any of you guys know the show existed?
He didn't create it. I think he just produced it. The two guys who created it, though, were writers on Family Guy. And
he was only, just a producer? Oh, I thought he created it because it has Seth MacFarlane's stink all over the show.
I mean, it's the guys who also created Ted. But they also created A Million Ways to Die in the West, and I am not Team Poop,
movie.
but the guy dying of fart needles in A Million Ways to Die in the West is maybe one of the funniest things ever put to screen, and I hate that I think it's that funny.
I know we talk about this all the time, and we've said this with we'll get into how we feel about this show. This was not my favorite one we've done recently. We'll get into it, but does Fox advertise anything? Again, it's a Fox show that happened in the same time chunk of like a lot of the other ones that we've covered like over the last couple of years. And I had no idea it happened, period.
I think I've cracked the code in this one, honestly. I think it's that they only advertise their comedies in their Sunday comedy block, which is like Simpsons, Family Guy, and all that stuff.
From the commercial after, right?
Yeah. And like, I love The Simpsons forever. I mean, Dan Castellaneta is in this episode. Homer the Simpson is in this fucking episode, but I have no desire to watch a new Simpsons episode. You know what I mean? Like, so whoever that audience is seeing it and we're not.
So yeah, I mean, I don't understand what their formula is. Like, sometimes you have to, like, you can't expand if all of your stuff is done within your own bubble. You know what I mean? You have to find a way to bring new people in. And it just seems like Fox consistently just does a terrible job of that.
Fox, hire us. We'll get people.
I think I'm just going to start looking up anything Fox has put out in the last 20 years, because there must be just 100 shows that we've never even heard of.
But this at the same time was like the lead-in show for Brooklyn Nine-Nine, a show I do not enjoy, but was a very big hit.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine did take off. I didn't watch it in the moment. I mean, we did our Brooklyn Nine-Nine show. You can go back and listen to that if you have not yet. But that's a show that was like a COVID show for me where I finally went, you know what? I'm going to sit down and watch this whole thing because I have nothing but time.
Still really bummed Andre Braugher died.
Yeah, that's a big bummer.
And that is a bummer, but I would say I've had COVID twice and I enjoy COVID more time. I enjoyed COVID more than watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I fucking hated that show.
Why?
It's just not funny. Andy Samberg to me seems like a very nice man, but he is the opposite of funny to me.
He's hilarious.
Well, that is, again, a discussion. You can go back and listen to that episode. Want to go over a few numbers. IMDb has this show in at a 5.5.
That's too
Rotten
high.
Tomatoes audience score 54, which lines up with that perfectly. Critic score 0.
You know how last week you were all like, or a couple weeks ago, you were like, it's weird that you don't like this show. I think you're just in a bad mood. What did we cover?
We did
Gilligan's Island?
No, that was
last
2 weeks
week
ago.
was the Grinder.
They did The Grinder, and I was like, I fucking hate this. And you're like, you're on a bad mood. Spoiler alert, does not make any sense. I really enjoyed this show.
What the fuck?
Fuck you.
Okay. Well, we have a...
No.
Do you know how hard it is to get 0 on Rotten Tomatoes? Not one critic was like, it was okay.
I kind of want to go on and give it like a good grade and see if we can make a change.
Yeah, it's almost like a badge of honor to have a 0. It's like worse to have a 2.
I don't know why. Can we sign up for Rotten Tomatoes and leave our reviews?
When we first started the podcast, I looked up what you needed to be on there to be an actual critic, and it was mostly time, and you had to like put out an article or something.
But we've put out tons of.
You don't have to justify it to us. You're trying to sell it to us like we make the decision. Okay, Gordo.
We've also never put out an article.
You know
Not
what?
once.
Rotten Tomatoes. I got 2 articles right here for you.
Well, let's not make the nice people at the Rotten Tomatoes angry, but if we get to 10,000 hours of podcast, I think then we should be able to qualify, right? Because isn't that what they say makes you an expert in something?
I gotta look it up again.
Oh, I mean, that's still a while away. But quickly, if you guys want to go to S1E1pod.com, that's where you can find the links to everywhere you can follow us. Social media following stuff does help us. So if you want to give us a follow on X or Instagram or anything like that, please do so. Hit us up. We like talking to you guys. Additionally, we have a link to where you can buy like some t-shirts. So go ahead and do that. Now, as far as Dads goes, if you want to watch it, unfortunately, this is not available on any streamer. Again, we talked about this with The Grinder and some other shows recently, but like Fox's stuff is not very easy to find sometimes.
And Fox is part of Hulu, right? It's part of that family?
Not officially, though. It's like their stuff is on Hulu, but like it's not like Fox's, they don't own it.
It seems silly. You'd think like 20th Century X or whatever would be like a streamer because they've got so many movies they own that they would just make a bank on that.
Right, because especially with this Fox like movie, production stuff, like in Fox Searchlight. But yeah, no, because I mean, you think Hulu has their affiliation with Disney as well, which is ABC. Yeah, it's not like a Fox property; just some of their stuff lands there. Additionally, as far as the show goes, there's a lot of meat on the bone here. I think we'll talk about it as we get into the episode. Again, I think we're all going in fresh. No one saw it before, so we might as well just get right in. First scene, we're inside of the recording studio for Ghost Child Games. So basically, the 2 main characters of the show, which is Seth Green and Giovanni Ribisi, they own this video game company called Ghost Child Games. And we see Seth Green's character here, Eli, and he's like producing while someone's in the booth doing voice. Joe, you already alluded to it. Gordo, I know you're going to lie now that you know, but did you catch who it was in the moment?
No.
Wow, I'm surprised you're honest here.
Yeah, I knew right away. I see his face, I know. I mean,
exactly,
have you ever seen
I'm
Tracy
surprised
Ullman show?
you don't catch him. And you got Joe giving it away early, so I thought you were going to be able to lie, but I was going to try to stop you when we got to it.
No, I'm an honest reviewer.
Yeah, but you're a big Simpsons fan.
But yeah, I'm surprised as our Simpsons guy, I think it's safe to say, for all the things we call you out on for not watching, one thing I think there's no disputing is that you've watched a lot of The Simpsons. So to not identify Homer kind of surprises me.
But I don't know them as people. It's not like Homer Simpson was in the booth.
I mean, fair.
I mean, that's fair, but I feel like if you see him or Harry Shearer or
Nope, wouldn't know them all. Wouldn't know them.
You wouldn't have known Hank Azaria?
Hank Azaria.
Maybe Hank Azaria.
Oh, you know what? Dan Castellaneta was in the episode of The Office. I know you love that show.
Gordo loves The Office.
So, Gordo, you liking Spinal Tap is more coincidental, right? Not the fact that one of the 3 members of the band is Mr. Burns?
Did
Correct.
Gordo just find that out?
Did you not know that until just now?
His eyes darting, being like, wait a minute.
Wow.
I did not know that. Who was Mr. Burns?
Spinal Tap is literally like one of
the dark-haired one, the one who had the cucumber in his
Harry
pants?
Shearer.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. Oh, the bass player, Derek Smalls.
Derek Smalls, yeah.
Okay.
That's so weird that you didn't know that. Wow.
I did not know that. Again, I don't know voice actors.
Have you seen any of the other Christopher Guest movies, Gordo? Because I know you love Spinal Tap, but have you seen like Best in Show or A Mighty Wind?
I have. I've seen both of them.
You watched The Mighty Wind because you thought it was about farting.
Where's the farts?
Like Gordo's Letterboxd review of that movie, 0 stars, no farts.
This is misleading.
No, I saw them. They were okay.
Just spikes of popcorn in the hallway.
Like I said, they weren't as funny as Spinal Tap.
I will say, we've talked about it a bunch, but I think that some of those Christopher Guest, Waiting for Guffman, I think is just as funny as Spinal Tap.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's so weird to me how many times you've watched that movie.
It's a comfort movie for me.
We have this recording session that's underway, and they're kind of just doing different takes. They want he's the guy's playing like a wizard for whatever game they're doing, and that's when Warner walks in. That's Giovanni Ribisi's character. Also note, the Seth MacFarlane ties. We do have Seth Green, who we know does Family Guy, and Giovanni Ribisi, who in the Ted movies, him dancing to was it the
I think we're alone now.
yeah, while dressed as a Ninja Turtle. Made me fucking die. Like, I don't love the Ted movies as much as a lot of other people seem to. I think they're funny, but that specific moment fucking killed me. That was what, in Ted 2?
Yeah.
This may have come up before too. I've not seen either of those movies. Is it worth seeing?
I think you might like it. I mean, no, you'll hate it, but
I think, have you guys watched the show? The show I think is better than both the movies, and I think we should cover it eventually.
I looked at it. I think it's a long episode, the first one. But
If we're going to do the show, we should plan it up far enough in advance that I can watch both movies. I feel
you
like
kind
I
of would probably want to watch them, yeah.
probably need
Yeah.
that ahead of time, yeah.
It's a prequel.
Oh, he's a kid?
Yeah.
They're in high school, I thought.
Is the bear Teddy in the prequel?
He calls him Teddy anyway, even in the movie.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, because that feels like a missed opportunity otherwise. I'm also speaking about a property I know nothing about right now, so I'm
Right.
just going to move on. Sorry.
Well, yeah, to move forward. So Warner walks in. He's like, hey, sorry I'm late. Like, guess who's begging to come with me to work today? And it's like, oh, let me guess. When it, it's basically find out that it's his father. Again, we're going to go into this stuff. Obviously, the show's called Dads. It's about these two guys' dads. I felt like the show would have better existed without their fathers. Like, I just kind of want to know the show of like this place, the video game place.
I agree because I
Yeah.
love Giovanni Ribisi, and I feel like this show could have done better. I mean, there's a lot of things that needs to change about this show to make it work. But I don't know. I just like Giovanni Ribisi is really fun to watch on TV, and you never see him. And now he's in this, and it gets fucked up, and it's annoying. But yeah, there's a lot of things.
They're making jokes about Warner's father coming and like making it pretend like he works there. Like, we can set him up with a little desk and give him a little nameplate. Another thing that kind of caught me in the scene that agitated me is like Seth Green, who I think's funny in a lot of things. I thought a lot of I thought here a lot of the delivery I'm getting from him seemed really forced. And then that could be the writing.
You know what it felt like, Jay?
Entourage.
Yes, it felt like the Seth Green you get from Entourage.
Yep.
It was just a little too fake, some of the stuff that was coming up. Like the dialogue didn't feel natural enough.
He's overacting a lot on this whole show.
Yeah.
I do feel like, though, Seth Green and Giovanni Ribisi feel like real friends.
I didn't get that.
I thought the two of them had chemistry.
I think there's chemistry there. I think it's two people like clearly having to do some script stuff that's a little too over the top, but like because they probably are real friends, it does lend itself to being fairly relatable. Like they don't seem like they are just pushing through.
It's not one of those shows where they build both guys to be like identical. You know what I mean? Like you have, the Eli character who's a little bit more dressed down and relaxed. And then you have Warner, we kind of see him in a shirt and tie most of the time. And we know that the story is like based on the name of the show is about their fathers and their relationship with their fathers. And in this scene, as they talk, we kind of get the vibe that Warner's character gets along with his dad really well. His dad gets in the way a lot, but he loves his dad. Meanwhile, Eli has more of like an estranged relationship with his father, and like he doesn't seem to get along with him all that well at all. That was the other thing too. Like Warner's saying like, oh, I can never say no to my dad, like when he wants to come by the office. Meanwhile, Eli's like, I can say to my dad at any time. Watch, I'm going to text him the word no right now out of nowhere. I was like, again, this feels like very, like, that's not a real thing. Like, just texting him the word no. And that's like, I understand it's a sitcom, but like, it's one of those, like, if you're just going to give me straight dialogue between two dudes, like, it has to be somewhat, like, normal and believable to me.
That right there, too, though, like, if you don't get along with somebody, you don't engage on purpose. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
That seems too fake in a weird antagonistic way where it doesn't seem like he hates his dad.
Right. If you don't like your dad, you're not going to try to talk to him. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to open up a dialogue box.
We glossed over that they were recording a wizard voice in the recording booth.
I don't think I glossed over it. I think you just had a joke you wanted to set up and you didn't catch your opportunity to say it. But go ahead.
I was going to ask you guys, if you guys had to do a wizard voice, how would you voice a wizard?
You're a wizard, Harry.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to work on that one.
I don't think I'll ever be in the situation where that comes up, so I don't even need to respond.
What about you, Gordo?
Be like, I'm a wizard.
That's your wizard, so you're
I cast diarrhea.
You're trying to convince King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table to go out and risk their lives. And your big pep speech as their coach is, I'm a wizard. Thanks a lot, Merlin. Good job.
Girlin.
I try.
I just wouldn't feel comfortable where I'm not actually a wizard and potentially take jobs away from any born wizards. Anyways, next thing we get is the intro, and the intro is just, I didn't like it. It was just a bunch of pictures of people and their dads.
It was dumb.
And it was
weird.
over like a really shitty song.
That sucked.
The next scene, we see Warner, and he's about to walk into his house, and he opens the door. He sees his wife, who's very angry in the kitchen with like a giant mess around her, realizes what he's about to walk into, so he just like slowly creeps back outside and shuts the door. But it's like a big glass door, so she's like, I can see you. Like, I see you too. And he heads back in. His wife, by the way, Camilla on the show, she's played by Vanessa Lachey, wife of Nick Lachey.
Who I know because I've had to watch so many seasons of that Love is Blind show.
This IMDb was really frustrating because her and later on the other girl in the show, I can't think of her name right now. I know them, and the IMDb couldn't even help me figure out what I know them from. What is it? Just me?
She's been in a bunch of stuff, but she's been like a personality like on television, not just like through acting roles. She does acting, but she's also been like a model, has like hosted a bunch of things. So you've probably seen her a bunch. And then she's someone who also like went by her maiden name for a long time and then changed when she got married. So now all of her credits is like listed as like, you know, her original name.
Yeah.
She actually she changed her name professionally when she actually got married.
So if it helps, you know the other girl from The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
I saw that.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah. I never watched that though, so I don't know if that. I mean,
I assumed you'd have known her from Santa with Muscles.
We'll get there. We'll get there eventually. So he walks in and she's like, do you see this? Like, your father made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And you look at the desk and it's just like, or the countertop rather, and it's just loaded with stuff. And like,
he's got banana in his peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I like it.
A lot of bananas also. There are bananas fucking everywhere.
Yeah, that's 2 bananas. That's crazy.
And she's saying like, I already have 2 kids. I don't need a third. And she needs him to like start talking to his father about like, hey, you know, he has to, you know, clean up, do whatever. And he's just like, again, this kind of mirrors back to the work thing. He just doesn't like to have confrontation with his dad. Like, they get along, but he's like afraid to ever tell him no.
Kind of a pussy about it. It's really annoying.
It's interesting because it's not in a way where you would think like his dad's an aggressive type, but that's not the situation at all.
No, it's the opposite. He's sweet. So he doesn't want to hurt his feelings.
Right.
And it's great casting too, because who would ever want to hurt Martin Mull's feelings?
All right. Well, he walks in right now, by the way, like right at this point. That's when we first
And
meet
a
him.
towel.
Yes, in a towel. Yeah, Martin Mull. He plays Crawford.
With his man boobs hanging out.
Don't make fun of Martin Mull's body. Martin Mull's one of the funniest human beings who ever walked the earth. And R.I.P.
I don't think
In
so.
all fairness, you've said that about 1 million people.
I will say, though, Joe has praised Martin Mull before.
Yeah, I love Martin Mull.
Unfortunately, he did pass a year ago.
Oh, I didn't know he died. That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say best known from Roseanne.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that's what I know him from.
Or Arrested Development, because he's Gene Parmesan.
Oh, that's
and
right,
like a very
Gene.
well-known character. But if you go like the Mary Hartman, or speaking back to all the Christopher Guest stuff, right, where he's in Fernwood Tonight and all those shows with Fred Willard in the 80s.
Yeah, they did a lot of stuff together.
That didn't get a lot of news, huh? His death.
No, I was very sad that it was kind of underreported for somebody who is so.
Because I didn't hear that until now either.
My favorite quote of all time is actually a Martin Mull quote.
Of all time, I'm gonna clock this because I feel like you will once again say that your favorite quote of all time is something else later. But
No, this is like my legit favorite quote of all time. It is, writing about music is like dancing about architecture. I think that's like the best way to describe people overthinking anything. And if you try to write about music, which I occasionally do, it's fucking hard, man. Like, it's hard to not just be like, I love this song or this band rules. Like, it's so fucking hard to explain something that you like is an art that you're into.
yeah, especially like there's a lot of music that like objectively isn't like it's so simple, right? You know what I mean? But
Right.
it's phenomenal. And then there's things that are, you know, you have bands that are like those like mathcore bands where like what they're doing is technically near impossible to perform in a group, but somehow they do it. But you're like, but yeah, this isn't for me. It's not catchy.
Yeah, and it's such a personal thing, right? Like to talk to somebody. If you write a paragraph about your favorite song, just try to do that someday. It's fucking crazy hard to do.
Wasn't he in Clue?
Yeah.
He is in Clue.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of other stuff he was because he's one of those guys that's been in a million things.
He's been in 1,000 different things, but has he ever mained as in anything? He's always been like a side character.
Mainly just TV. Like the Fernwood Tonight stuff is like the thing that he was like the most main because it was like a two-hander.
Okay.
So he walks out and he's asking Warner, hey, what's the last four of your social? It's 7146, correct? Like, yeah, but why are you using it? He's like, oh, if I use mine, the IRS would be all over this place like flies on a ham. Joe, is it exciting for you to get a ham mentioned in the episode?
One of my other things to write for the opening was, oh, they mentioned ham. I'm so happy. My daughter, by the way, super into ham right now.
Ooh.
Nice.
And poop.
Ham and poop. Yeah, that's the 50-50 right now. She loves saying poop and ham.
Hey, listen, Joe. My doctor is also into ham.
It sounds like you're saying doctor.
Yeah, it sounds like Gordo goes to McGruff the crime dog as a doctor. Oh, bend over. You're over 40 now.
I like the idea of Gordo is like having a physical and his dog's like, hold on 1 second, I'm just going to finish this sandwich. Black Forest, by the way, you a fan? Gordo's just butt naked sitting on the bench.
Who gets butt naked at the doctor's?
Everybody, when they tell you to take your clothes off, are you in a
What
physical?
doctors are you guys going to?
Gordo, when's the last time you had a physical?
We went over this a couple months ago. I had it, remember? And I ate the Burger King beforehand, and it spiked my blood sugar, and they thought I had diabetes.
I don't want to get too weird here, but did the doctor at any point have to touch your nuts?
No.
There was no turn your
That's
head
not a
and
physical
cough.
thing.
You didn't
Yeah.
have a physical then, yeah.
Yeah, I did.
No, a physical is full body, and they check your.
I think
junk.
you met a weird guy in an alley and he fondled you.
Was the doctor also working at Burger King?
Close, but no. No, I went in, they heard my breathing, they checked down my throat, looked at my ears, and went, okay, have a good one.
Open wide, Gordo.
Open wide. This is a two-hander for Gordo.
Yeah, no, I don't get naked at the doctor.
Okay, well, you should. I'm telling you this as a friend. Find another doctor because all this stuff needs to get checked.
Why do they need to see me naked?
I don't know, they're clearly doing something wrong because they misdiagnosed you for having diabetes.
Or they didn't.
Gordo just falls over. That is a 4-man pod now.
So Warner walks up. I'm sorry, Warner's father walks off. He's like, after getting the last four, he's like, I have to finish this call with Bert Dillard. Warner's wife's like, who's Bert Dillard? He's like, I don't know. All my dad's friends have like business names like Bert Dillard or Thatcher Wainwright. They're going over things like that.
Those are wrestling names now.
Yeah.
I will say this though, but he's like Jock Upson. Like those are weird names, but like Bert Dillard is just Dillard is just a name. Like that one didn't track to me as being weird.
They do sound like business names, though.
Yeah, but I work in business.
What's your business name?
Jack Upson.
His dad re-enters. He's like, all right, the Dillard deal's done. And then he asks his daughter-in-law if she would mind pretending to be his secretary because he has to give a ring to Granger Watts. And he says, gracias, muchacha, you're a peach. And then goes to give her a kiss. And then when he does, well, kiss on the cheek, just for clarity. When he does, his towel falls. And he goes, well, now that you've seen it, I won't be needing to wear a towel from here on out.
God.
Yeah, this is kind of a miss.
That's a
little
funny
weird.
joke, but at this point, I hate his father.
I also just think that at this point, like, there's kids in the house. Like, if they were, like, living alone, at least you can make that joke, but you're like, you want to see grandpa kids? Like, no, that's weird. Don't do that shit.
Yeah, it is weird because there are still kids who live there. We never see them, but apparently they have 2 kids from what we heard.
One does not like being jostled in bed.
The thing with the father's character is I feel like we just don't know enough about his backstory. So, like, he's like this sweet old guy and his son's afraid to, like, ever be mean to him. But he's, like, an overbearing business dude. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't really know enough about his dad.
Yeah, they needed to pick a lane with him. He's got too much going on.
Yeah, I agree.
His character's kind of interesting because at work, he's like the guy you'd expect to own a video game company. And at home, he's the complete opposite except when except for playing video games. Like he doesn't feel like that person. You know what I mean?
Right. And then we cut to Eli's apartment, and you see his girlfriend asleep in her like underwear. And it's like kind of a force, like they're just trying to show you a good looking girl in her underwear, I think. Because like, why are the sheets missing over her half and not where he got out of bed?
It was very warm. They have one of those sleep number beds, and her side was just too hot.
He got out of bed, but the sheets are only off of her, and then like the bed's like all the sheets are flat where he would have been. But like, whatever. I'll take the visual.
I always think there's a couple here, and I'll bring them up later, but like the funny casting calls, like, do you want to be in a TV show? But like, yeah, what's my role? But like, but it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just be but for a scene.
She gets a couple lines. He's like sneaking over to play video games, like quietly, doesn't want to wake her up, and then the phone rings, and it's his dad's on the phone. He's like, why are you calling me at 7 a.m.? He's like, oh, I just wanted to make sure that we're still on track for my visit. He's like, what visit? He's like, for Warner's birthday. He's like, Warner's birthday's in 8 months. He's like, I just got a Evite for a surprise party at Warner's this Friday. Like, that's my birthday, Dad. He's like, you just ruined a surprise party in honor of me and forgot my birthday in one phone call. He's like, well, do you want me to come? I'm stuck with this plane ticket. I thought like, that call wasn't too bad.
No, it was bad.
So this was a fine back and forth. I'll also note too here, this is in my notes the first time I wrote, like, is that a Rocky Dennis picture? Like, I got so fucking excited because they don't.
I didn't track it yet.
Yeah, I didn't see it until it's actually addressed later.
They do like a weird tracking shot of his apartment, and you see like there's like not a console, what do you call it? Like a arcade game.
Yeah.
There's a word for that, but I can't think of it.
Like a cabinet?
Cabinet, thank you. Like an arcade cabinet, and then a couple of guitars, right? There's like some sort of like Eastwood looking guitar, and then there's like randomly just picture of Rocky Dennis, and I was like, and my immediate joke in my brain was like, did they just put that there because Peter Rieger is in The Mask, the drama movie, and Rocky Dennis is in The Mask, the comedy movie, and they were like, well, that'd be like a funny thing to do. That's all I could think of.
I don't think that was it, but yeah, I don't know. This phone call, I mean, we're getting at least the vibe of how different their father-son relationships are. And I guess this was the more relatable of the two for me. This felt like a lot of phone calls I've had with my dad.
It's not a relatable thing for me, but his dad is more realistic. Like, I've seen more dads like that than I've seen of the weird naked dad.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, that's for sure. I guess you could find more guys like him in the world than you would find Crawford.
And I will say, although I think Martin Mull is much funnier than Peter Rieger is a comedy actor. Right? He's Boone in Animal House. And the little things he does in this episode are so funny to me. The kisses, I think, are so fucking funny. He plays them so well that it's hard not to laugh every time he kisses.
Eli hangs up. He turns around. Now his girlfriend is, she's got a shirt on now and she's out of bed. He's going, a surprise party? I hate surprise parties. You're a terrible girlfriend. Oh, I thought you said I wasn't your girlfriend. Well, whatever you are, you're terrible at it.
I don't like this angle at all.
Unnecessary.
There's no reason that Seth Green needs to be like the playboy too. Like, it's first of all, it's unbelievable. Second of all, it was executed poorly.
I thought this was another case of somewhat unnatural dialogue too, just the way that went down.
I feel like Seth Green's in dialogue in its entirety is unnatural. This entire show,
the whole show. I agree with you.
Yeah.
There is a turning point that we'll get to later, which made me almost more frustrated for the bad parts, because I thought there was a point where it kind of fixes itself. We go back to the office, and now we see Eli like in his chair at his desk, angry, while Warner's kind of like mocking him. He's like, feel the dad. Because now, Warner's used to being around his dad all the time. Eli is somewhat removed from it. Now he's going to have a weekend with his father around. And he's like, how can you do this to me? He's like, I'll tell you why, because 2 years ago, you blew an Indian food burp at me, and it's payback time.
I don't know why I thought this was funny.
It's weird that I enjoyed this episode more than I should have, and I thought this was the worst joke of the episode.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think this was hilarious or anything.
I'd rather a fart than a burp.
You'd rather a fart blown in your face than a burp?
Really?
Man, something about burps. Just like,
was this you wanting to mention a fart so bad that you didn't think about what you were saying?
No, I'm just saying I don't like burps. Like, has anybody ever burped in your face?
I don't like
Disgusting.
burps, but I wouldn't want to fart in my face. I'd rather have someone burp in my face than fart into my face.
I don't think so. They both Gross.
No, that's vile. Can I just have neither?
So the two keep continuing to go back and forth about who has the worst dad, kind of saying like how this the punishment doesn't fit the crime here as far as this birth thing. So now as they're comparing their fathers, like, all right, you want to have a bad dad showdown? And now they're just kind of like going back and forth with these things that their dads have done that make them shitty. It was a little forced. Most of it's kind of meaningless other than the fact that we hear that like Eli's dad likes to kiss on the lips, which Joe, you mentioned earlier. I will say that at the end is the important stuff. The last two things that get mentioned. Warner mentions my dad squandered away the family fortune and now he has to live with me. And Eli says my dad divorced my mom and left the country when I was 5. So those are, I would say, the big things.
One of those is way worse.
Yeah.
You know, like my dad was rich and he lost a bunch of money is not nearly as bad as being abandoned.
Yeah, like that's like just bad bad luck or whatever.
Yeah,
know?
right.
Like,
Well, it depends how bad of a financial state he put them in. You know what I mean? It could have.
It sounds like he caused it, sure, but you know, still there.
I don't think it was just a matter of him losing money, and I don't have much more to go on, but the fact that he used his son's social security number, because if he used his, the IRS and agents would show up.
Him wanting to be constantly involved in things where we can see obviously that he's not the smartest when it comes to some business decisions. But yeah, and then now they're doing this whole fake pantomime shooting at each other like Star Wars, like, you know, pew, pew, pew. Warner's blocking the shots with a fake shield he has. They're doing this. It's obviously a little childlike. And right when that's happening is when Veronica walks in. Veronica, played by Brenda Song. Ferg, I think you mentioned Zach and Cody, right? She's done like a bunch of Nickelodeon stuff. She's married to Macaulay Culkin. You see the two of them out together all the time now.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I feel like Macaulay Culkin has a bit of a resurgence as of late. Like, not even resurgence. I feel like he just chooses to be in the public again. You know, like was just kind of like staying out of it for a while.
he's Seth Green's best friend in real life.
Yeah, they're
so.
extremely close.
I forgot
That's
about
how
that.
the two of them met, was through Seth Green.
Yeah, they both love wrestling.
They are both wrestling fans.
They're in the Wrestling Isn't Wrestling video. Trying to buy the sucking dick shirt.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
I don't think I totally 1,000% stand with Macaulay Culkin's decision to like, I'll just act when I want to act. I don't have to be in stuff. But I feel like if he popped in for like 2 seconds in Rat Race, that would have been a fun cameo.
Why?
Because his best friend, Seth Green, is one of the main characters of that movie.
Sure, but that doesn't give him like carte blanche to like bring his friends into whatever project he's doing.
I'm sure if they were like, hey, we're doing a version of It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, which has 1,000 people in it, would you like Macaulay Culkin to play the guy who runs the Barbie museum with the Nazis? They would have been like 1,000% yes, do that.
That would have been a good spot for him, actually.
Yeah, see? Boom.
I just want them to make that new Home Alone movie where Kevin leaves the kids home alone.
I'm no better than my father. I'm not sure what Veronica's like level is in this company, right? So she's not like their secretary. She's definitely like, I'm under the assumption she's high up enough that she's kind of like with them at all times.
She's both of their executive assistant, which when you say those words out loud, it doesn't sound like it's a big job. But like an executive assistant is somebody who basically runs the CEO's day to day, right? It's like a very big, like staff important job. So she's like very much in the mix.
So the two of them own the company, but like she's like kind of right there at the top of the chain.
Yeah, because she like makes all their schedules. She makes all their meetings.
Right.
She knows everything, sort of.
So when she walks in, she's going, oh, well, you guys are lucky your dads are American. My dad beat me with a math book until I was 16 years old.
And here's where the show takes a weird turn.
Yeah, so
It takes a really fucking weird turn here, yeah.
a few. Like, that's exactly why we need your help on Friday when we pitch to these Chinese investors. It's like, oh, because of my intimate knowledge of Chinese culture? No, because you're going to dress up like a sexy Asian schoolgirl. I was like, oh, okay.
Also, just a peek inside my brain, I watched this episode on a Sunday morning at like 7 a.m. because it's when I was free to watch this episode. And I'm looking back at my notes and I wrote, hit her with a map book. Like the kind of atlas you'd have in your car before the internet. And I'm like,
Like, are we there yet? And he just slaps her with the maps. Listen, and let me say this too, by the way. I remember like a couple weeks back when we did Alice and there was like a whole bunch of like really weird sexual assault stuff in that episode. I don't want to sound like I'm like, I get offended at everything. Like, listen, like, I like seeing a girl dressed up sexy as much as the next guy, probably more than the next guy. It's just when we're watching a show modern day, for things like that to come up, especially where she's supposed to be like higher up in the company and they're like, oh, we need you to bait these guys by dressing up in a sexy schoolgirl costume. It doesn't fit. If this show was made 20 years earlier, I wouldn't bat an eye. But here it seems weird. It just doesn't feel like that wouldn't fly in today's world. So it doesn't make sense when I'm seeing it.
It also seems weird too. So let's just say there's a way it can fit. And it's Seth Green bringing it up, but Giovanni Ribisi's character is the one who actually says it, I think, which makes even less sense.
A good call.
I think also Seth Green doing the like giggling schoolgirl stereotype impression really fucking does not land.
Because when she's saying, no, I can't do that. And it's like, sure you can, watch. And he does the hee and like puts his hands over his face and like in a way that you would very much see in.
And this is only 9-10 years ago, right? Like that didn't land then, I don't think.
No, back then, if I saw this live, I'd have been like, ugh.
No, that was allowed back then. I remember there was that SNL skit when they did the Asian Office, and they did that exact same joke with Asian Pam.
Sure, but the idea, I think, behind that whole sketch was very, like, playing into stereotypes. But, like, when you look at this and, like, I know it's a comedy, but, like, we're looking at it through the lens of, like, this woman who's at work is being told by her bosses, like, we need you to dress up like a sexy schoolgirl and do all this stuff. You go, oh, that's kind of not okay.
And then when she does, they're both like, I'm going to jerk off to you later.
Yeah.
To her fucking face.
Yeah.
I can't believe
crazy.
they do that to Wendy Wu, Homecoming Warrior.
Is that's from a Nickelodeon show, or?
They're all Disney Channel shows.
Okay.
She was big on the Disney Channel when it's actually kind of past our time, but
I
like,
was just going to say, was this for your kid or was this you watching Disney Channel way later?
no,
than you
this
should've?
was like just slightly past when we
Berg's
should have
just
been
watching his 20s for sport. Oh, hello, Wendy. So the next scene, we're in Eli's apartment, and his maid is cleaning up, and his dad is there. So his dad's made it into town. He's staying at Eli's. Eli's not there at the moment. And while she's cleaning up, she sees this framed photo of Rocky Dennis from Mask, as you mentioned earlier. And she's looking at it, and she's looking back at David. David is Eli's father. And looking back at it again, and then she's like, is this you? He's like, what? He's like, that's the kid from Mask. He's like one of the ugliest people in human history. Like, I don't know. Kind of looks like you in the face.
I love this joke, but also, like, why are we throwing shade on Eric Stoltz or poor dead Rocky Dennis? You know my love of the movie Mask. I fucking lost it on this. I would also love if anybody listens to this who was involved in the show Dads, please tell me I'm correct and this is a Mask versus Mask joke.
It definitely is not, but this has to be like an inside joke, right? Like this is something that's very funny to some of those guys behind the scenes that they want to throw in the Rocky Dennis picture.
But can't you imagine if Peter Riegert's like, I was in Sopranos, I was in Animal House, and people are like, ooh, it's like, I was in The Mask. I'm like, oh, with Rocky Dennis? Like, you can totally see that being like a weird thing at like the dry cleaner. Like, they don't know the right movie.
I will say my brain, when I see him, the first thing I think of is The Mask. It really is.
Yeah.
Just Mask.
You married her. I think of that all the time.
Doyle!
Oh, you did mean that Mask. Never mind.
I mean, to be fair, both comedies.
So Eli walks in and his dad's like, oh, there's my birthday boy. And then the maid walks up and she's like, hey, I'm not coming in next week. And he's like, are you asking me or telling me? She's like, okay, thank you. And leaves.
That's kind of funny.
And she walks off. Now Eli's talking to his dad. He sees his dad's bag. He's like, why does it say breast cancer? He's like, it says,
say yes
to breast cancer. Yeah, say yes.
Yes to cancer. It's such a fucking funny joke.
And he's like, oh, it was a misprint there, giving them away at the 5K. He's like, you did a 5K? He's like, there was a free water at every K, so I just got in my car and drove from K to K.
Is that the next shirt we're making? Say yes to breast cancer?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
S1E1 finally makes a pink t-shirt.
No, not gonna make that one. Also, the idea of him going to a 5K, which is only a little over 3 miles, and then driving to get a free water basically every 3/4 of a mile is not a very believable story at all.
Yeah, that was dumb.
I like the idea though, because like we live in a place where like water is free. Like that's why that joke is funny. I imagine though watching that in like an impoverished country, you'd be like, oh my God, free water.
It's just like, I don't know, something about the joke. It's like, I don't like these. And I feel like we're getting a little bit of that Seth MacFarlane type of humor in here, but like, there's better ways to like give that story. Be like, oh yeah, like you did a 5K. It could have easily been like, no, but I was walking by and I was sweaty at the time, so they thought I ran. So I just grabbed one of the bags. Like, you know, like just the idea of him driving like alongside of this race to get a water just didn't seem quite right.
I mean, being a Seth MacFarlane show, he actually has made fun of Rocky Dennis a few times on Family Guy, so it kind of makes sense being on this.
I think there's like a generational thing because he's probably not that much older than us, right? Like anybody who grew up in that time, that movie weirdly looms larger than it should.
Never saw it.
Nick, oh my God. I'm not to
What
break
movie?
the fourth wall here, but we're all going to be hanging out in real time this weekend for the first time in years. All
We're not
going
going
to
to watch
together.
Mask.
No, we're going to get lunch and then we're watching Mask.
We're not going to watch Mask.
We should watch
Happy-
Top Gun.
We've watched it.
No, we can't break the streak and know that Gordo has actually seen it. That would ruin way too much.
He'd probably still fail the quiz.
Can we all watch Top Gun in the boy hole, but Gordo can't come?
Gordo watches Mask alone downstairs.
Him and Andy talking about poop.
Yeah, it's like Uncle Gordo's going to watch Mask with you.
Yeah, we'll plenty to talk about.
So now Eli's dad's like, so should we flip for the bed? He's like, there's no way you're sleeping in my. And then as his dad's going to actually flip the corner, he's like, heads.
Rookie move. Tails never fails.
Yeah. And he goes, see you in the morning. Stay out of the bathroom between 3 and 4. It's my go time.
You guys have go times?
I don't have a specific go time, but I like having an hour because I like to read.
As much as I hate talking about this stuff, my go time is just based on like, I wake up and like go.
Ooh!
Hey, once that first coffee hits, that's when it's go time.
Yeah, so I don't drink as much coffee anymore, and it actually has messed me up a little bit because I'm less regular now because of it.
Yeah, you gotta drink that so your poop goes bonjour.
What does that mean?
Why does coffee turn
It
my
means
poop
hello, you idiot.
French?
You know, French coffee.
Hey, poop comes out and it goes, hello.
Every morning, Juan Valdez and his donkey go through the fields of France to pick the coffee beans.
Where are we?
My donkey's lost. I miss my donkey.
So now, next scene, we're back at the office. Warner walks in with a red motorcycle helmet and approaches Eli. And it's like, all right, you guys ready for the Chinese investors? He's like, what's this? He's like, this is your helmet. Like, this is going to be your character. You're going to be like big American, rock and roll guy who rides a motorcycle. Like, what? And it's like, yeah, you're going to come into the meeting late wearing the helmet. It says to them, I don't care if I die riding a motorcycle. I just want to make great video games.
Gordo, I know you had a scooter for a while. Has anybody here ever ridden a motorcycle?
I had a motorcycle. We've
We've
talked
had this
about it.
argument. Gordo has made claims to being a multi-motorcycle owner.
No, it was one.
No, don't you remember he showed us a picture of a bike?
It is, yeah. We have that clip somewhere in our Instagram if you want to go back.
No, I had one. I did not have multi motorcycles, just one, and it blew up twice on me. So that's just, you got to take the cues from good Lord when, he gives it to you.
Warner's explaining this to Eli, the whole rock and roller thing he wants him to do. And as that's happening, Veronica walks in her sexy kind of Sailor Moon-like outfit. And then Giovanni Ribisi's character, Warner goes, well, hello, kitty. And I'm like, oh, don't do that.
This whole scene just gets too fucking much.
Also, they seem to confuse Chinese and Japanese, which is also racist.
It's like more racist to do that.
Yeah, they like add a level they don't need to add of extra fucking racism.
Here's these Chinese investors. Go dress up like this Japanese anime.
So the Chinese schoolgirl thing is probably more appealing to people who aren't Chinese, right? That's like a thing for other, people. Not
Well, listen, I think universally the schoolgirl thing probably crosses all through cultures.
All right, yeah, good point.
Because like American schoolgirl stuff is big in America too, so
That's a beautiful thing, though. As different as we all are, we're all the same.
we're all into little girls.
I can't believe you took my beautiful story and made it weird.
A Kevin Spacey thing to do.
And that day he felt free.
So,
That is a weird thing though culturally that like took off though, right? Where everything's just like teenagers. Like it's a weird fucking thing, man.
I feel like that was in the 90s, early 2000s, like what like step sibling stuff is today almost.
Yeah, the Catholic schoolgirl.
Yeah.
Like everything was like, yeah, like teacher stuff or like office mates. That was like what it was before.
That all come from Sailor Moon?
I don't know much about Sailor Moon other than that it's a thing like that. I could identify the costume.
That's what I mean, though. They all wore the schoolgirl costume, and that's an older show. Did all this come from that?
But in that series, why are the schoolgirls also, are they sailors? Like, are they on a ship?
no.
Ferg doesn't want you to know how much he knows. Ferg wanted to like deep dive and tell you all the info you need, but then would have to be the one who tells you all the information you need, exposing that he knows it.
Again, a very Kevin Spacey thing for you to be aware of.
Not me.
I'm not spacey like Kevin, but you know what? Sailor Moon is, because they all represent a different planet. That's why she's Sailor Moon, and there's Sailor Mercury, and
You really actually know all this stuff?
I don't know that much about Sailor Moon. I didn't watch. I thought it was for girls. Ask me about Dragon Ball Z, though.
You just like Borated so hard right there. Sailor Moon iPad minis are for girls.
I will say, as far as Veronica goes here, at least she's like, she comes out dressed this way, but she makes it known right off the bat. Just so you know, I promoted myself to VP of game development and I'm taking next week off. So she's like, I'll do this, but I'm getting mine in return. So yeah, no, good for her in that moment. But Joe, you alluded to this earlier, that all the stuff that's coming up now is like the two of them like basically taking mental pictures and openly doing it so they can jerk off to the thought of her dressed this way later? Is that what they're getting at?
This is a lawsuit immediately.
I wish we knew a little more about their relationship. Like, how did they know her from school, and like the three of them? Like, so it's like something you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would like, if we knew that they were friends for like 20 years, it's almost like, not that everything gets the pass, but obviously like the way we talk to one another obviously is, because of how long we've been friends and how comfortable we are with one another.
I sometimes think if you were to like take snippets of our show and you didn't like listen to our show and know that we all actually love each other, that like you could hear certain clips and be like, these five people fucking hate each other and are so mean to each other, but it's not the case, right? But like in a vacuum, it seems that way. But if they were friends since they were fucking
Sure,
8,
yeah.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, to what Ferg was saying, like if we had anything in this episode that told us like any one line that could have tipped us off that they've been friends for a long time, it would make most of this seem less weird.
But they fucking don't. So it's just super weird.
Hey, but Joe said he's really into this show, so
Just considering how they work at the same company that they created together, I'm assuming college buddies.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she could be from that too. They're not that old, so you'd think like maybe like 10 years removed or whatever from it, but
Yeah, she seems like she got in. They may not have known her, but she got in on the ground floor when they started or something.
And they're probably both like, what, 10 years older than us, I'd say?
that's what, yeah, in real life, around there. So she walks off, and now the two are like, oh, we're forgetting about the other big business meeting today. And apparently their two dads are like getting lunch. And they're like, they start joking about like, I wonder which one's going to pick up the check. And they're talking about like these moves that they both do to kind of avoid it. Fake bathroom trips and pushing the check over. And then it becomes like, does one of them die there? Do both of them die there? And like, ooh.
I did laugh here. I laughed when they put their fingers up and both of them died. Like, that's so fucking dark, but so funny.
And then we cut to like said lunch and the two of them are hanging out. We get to that point where we do see the check get dropped and we see in live time, like neither of them have any intentions of paying. And it's like, they're not even anywhere nice. Like you figure they probably went out somewhere where like possibly $20 each.
Yeah.
Why is it assumed that one has to get it? There was never like a split the bill. Is that generation not doing that type of stuff?
Yeah, I don't even think they could afford to split it.
I think that's the problem, right? Like nowadays, it is the case, right? Like if we all go out to eat, one of us just pays for it and Venmos the other person, right? Like that's how it works because it's just easier. Or one person gets it and you get the next one, like no big deal. But I guess even 10 years ago, it's hard to split money without cash. And then that gets weird. Or one person does a tip. Like I remember that shit being confusing and being like, I don't know what to do right now.
there is a little bit of funniness going on here where they are both trying to get out of paying for it. So, they're both like trying to talk around it. And you do see like the first one to make the move, Warner's dad does like the whole push it forward. And then you have Eli's dad who like coughs, which makes it slide back. And like, I thought this scene was amusing.
It was a little tough to watch, but
I think the joke itself is fine, but it went on too long. They only had to set it back and forth once each.
Yeah, they each get one, and the music swells, and they cut to the scene, and you're good.
That's this show in a nutshell. Is that scene was too long.
This would have worked too if it was like a quick slide back and forth, and then we cut back to it later, and they're still sitting there.
We showed time pass.
They're late for the party because they're still at the diner.
But the next thing we see here is we cut to the business meeting with all those Chinese business guys. It's like presentation time. Warner saying, so one thing that we learned from the success of Kill Hitler is that people love killing Hitler. So in Kill Hitler 2, there are 45 new ways that you can kill Hitler.
I would play this game. This sounds like a fun game.
Yeah, I was sold. It seemed fun.
Just play Wolfenstein.
I mean, I think that one scene in the Tarantino movie, though, is like the most perfect encapsulation of like 50 years of people where it's like they're just shooting Hitler in the face over and over again. You're like, this is so satisfying. Hitler will never not be satisfying to kill.
We see some examples of all the things you can do to kill Hitler now in the slides, like during the presentation. So in this new game, you can electrocute him. You can hang him. Or I said this at the front of the episode. I thought this is where Joe is going to go. Or you can impale Hitler with the menorah. And that's when we get Eli going, what the hell?
This is funny.
The graphic picture of also Hitler looking stunned as he's stabbed with 8 fucking menorah spikes. Very funny.
I will say what the Heil was my one and only laugh that I got throughout the episode.
You know what? I'll say I had a few laughs. My next big laugh, though, is coming up very soon to this. But I will say, we've talked about forever. Our final episode will be Heil Honey, I'm Home.
It doesn't have to be our last episode. We can cover that.
I just feel like it's gotta be the one you just go like, and we can't do another sitcom. Like, that is like...
It's going to be a tough one. We could do it. We don't have to wait till the end. But, well, hey, one way or another, there will be a last episode. I don't know
we
when.
do like Done Month, where it's like Cosby Show, Cosby Mysteries, Cosby, and Heil Hitler.
We can cover those too.
Yeah, we'll end up doing Cosby, I think.
Like, I loved the Cosby Show growing up. I have not revisited it, and it breaks my heart because I feel bad for all the other cast members who are not getting residuals anymore because that show got taken so far out of syndication.
Right, they got a lot of residuals. That show is always...
Yeah, they all made a lot of money in its run. I do want to mention after the What the Heil, this is when Veronica, like they cut over to her and she does the little hee, like the laugh they wanted her to do. When she does that, one of the Chinese guys, the one who happens to be the translator, like takes a photo of her. And you're like,
yeah, it was weird.
I like this though because you set him up as a villain and then you pay it off later.
There is a payoff later for sure. So now the guy who's sitting in front of him, the guy he's translating for, he sits there and he's talking to these guys. Obviously, he's speaking in Chinese. And then the interpreter says, like, we like what we're hearing and we very much want to work with you guys. You and your rock and roll rebel man.
Did nobody else laugh at Rock and Roll Rebel Man? Because that phrase really got me.
No, I didn't. It was more like all these dumb stereotypical things that he's, they're forcing into this interview that Warner wants. All did seem to pay off. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I just think that turn of phrase, rock and roll rebel man, is very funny.
That is actually the name of Gordo's new album.
True.
His throat singing a rock and roll album.
There's a preview.
What did Ricky Morton say about the record when you got me the
oh man.
It went plywood.
I think it went I put my pants.
Just because he has Rod Stewart's haircut doesn't mean he poops his pants like Rod Stewart.
What was that? What's that record? Like Boogie Woogie Dance Hall or something like that?
Boogie Woogie Dance Hall.
Yeah.
Do you know what the B-side of that is? Sometimes You Feel Like a Nut. And if you're wondering if that is the song from the Almond Joys, you are correct. It is the Rock and Roll Express singing Sometimes You Feel Like a Nut.
Really?
Sometimes you don't. And it fucking rules.
I'm pretty sure he said that album went plywood. Yeah, I think that
Plywood, I think is what he said. Yeah.
So now they're like, everyone's good. They have like this like verbal agreement at least for this deal. And as everyone starts to shake hands through like, they're in like a big glass meeting room in the middle of like the office buildings. We can see Warner's dad approaching. He's trying to get in. So as he's walking like across to like turn the corner to get to the door, Eli catches him. He's like, stop him. And like Warner goes up and like shuts the door and like locks it before his dad can get in. But now the two of them are talking like through the glass. So obviously you can hear him. He's like, Warner, open up. I'm here to help. He's like, Dad, it's okay. We already have a handshake agreement. He's like, then you have nothing. He's like, it's okay. He's like, just go get a granola bar. I have one in the desk. He's like, no, Warner, the Chinese are lovely and honorable people, but you can't trust them. And meanwhile, all these guys are like sitting here like, what the fuck?
I also love too, like the joke of like they need a translator, but they clearly understand English because they hear.
No, if you watch, the translator is translating that to them.
Oh, is he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I missed that. I was just laughing at this scene.
Also, if I were Eli, I'd have been way more upset at this than he was.
Thank you, Nick.
I mean, to be fair, I think Eli's reaction is pretty upset.
And Warner's like, Dad, please stop. He's like, there's a reason Shanghai's a verb. And he goes, Daddy, no.
I laughed so fucking hard at this. I had to pause my notes. I don't know why this tickled me so much, but his tone, I have it in my notes underlined because I laughed so hard at it. The Daddy no is fucking phenomenal.
I guess that was funny. I said my one and only. I mean, I don't think that like audibly got me, but I was entertained with this.
Now that one got me.
I literally have in parenthetical legit lol because I laughed so hard and I was like, I have to mention that I laughed at this.
I was too busy being irate that he showed up.
Yeah.
I was getting really mad at the dad, and he's just screwing up the.
But we already know this about his character. We know that like he's trying to involve himself in he always has these ideas for them. He's like because Warner's incapable of telling his dad no, his dad just keeps interjecting himself. But he doesn't even realize, in fairness, that he's so destructive because he's never like corrected. He's a little. Yeah. I mean, maybe he should be a little bit more like self-aware.
Well, that's when Eli needs to step in, or at least have security not let this guy in the building when there's an important meeting going on.
Yeah.
Like, you're costing me millions and millions of dollars right now. Like,
how are we going to tap the Chinese market for Kill Hitler 2?
Ferg, I think there's a very good point here, too, where it's like, you're costing me all this money, where it's like, he lives off of the teat of his son. So, like, the company not doing well is bad for him. He lives with him.
But in his brain, he thinks he can help. We hear him say that later on. We end up cutting to like that night, and now Warner is in his kitchen with his wife. They're both like cooking. And his wife goes, I can't believe they didn't want to invest millions with the guy who says, Daddy, no. And I'm thinking, why would you tell her that part of the story?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
When you're recounting the story of what happened, you wouldn't go, and then I said in a really like childish, embarrassing way.
Or did he tell her, though?
I don't think Warner's father's name is escaping me at the moment.
Martin Mull. I'm just gonna go with Martin Mull.
His name's Crawford. I don't think Crawford's aware enough to realize that like like in those moments he's so oblivious that he's not catching the fact that his son's pleading with him to stop. You know what I mean? So he wouldn't recount it that way.
all right, so if he can't stand up to his dad and this failed, when they went home and she asked how'd the deal go, it would have come up that way. Like the dad would have told the story. He didn't get it because he said, Daddy, no. Because he doesn't realize he fucked up the meeting.
Crawford, I don't think would mention it that way. But like we kind of get that in a minute because he does eventually show up in the scene. Because Warner's going like, it's kind of my dad's fault though for showing up in the first place, don't you think? And she's saying, no, it's your fault because you don't confront him. He's like, I can't yell at him. It's like yelling at a golden retriever with a briefcase. And then as soon as he says that is when Crawford walks in. This is what I mean. Like he walks in and goes, boy, that went south in a heartbeat today, didn't it? Like, don't worry. Like they'll be back. I've been in this position many, many times before. So he doesn't see the weight of what he did or really acknowledges that it's all his fault. He's just like, well, that's kind of how this goes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He doesn't realize it's his fault. He'd think it was the son's fault and tell the story that way.
You think that it was, nah. I mean, that's not how I'm reading it. When he's saying this, Warner goes like, yeah, they told us to never call them again. He's like, yeah, don't you just love the dance? He's like, so you don't think that this was a total disaster today? It's like, I wouldn't be celebrating with your last beer if I thought I had.
Dick.
I didn't like that line either because that's just forcing it to mention that, like, I took your last beer. He's oblivious. He wouldn't think about the fact that it was the last beer.
Yeah, he should have taken it and said, would I be celebrating? And then have Warren go, that's my last beer.
Yeah, like he could be drinking and go, hey, let me get you one too. And opens it like, oh, looks like it was your last one. Like, do that, but don't be like, hey, I took your last beer. Like, like that doesn't make sense. He's supposed to be a little bit more like aloof.
And my broken brain was just like, you never have just one beer in the fridge. What are you, a fucking amateur? What are you doing here? There's plenty of beer in the fridge.
I have one beer in the fridge.
I have one beer in the
You're
fridge.
a liar.
Is it that Guinness Blonde that I left in there like 10 years ago?
No, it's actually one of the coffee beers we bought on one of our trips. I don't remember which one it was.
A coffee beer is for sure the last beer in your fridge. You were like, a company might take it, or I might have a bad day, but I'm not drinking this.
Well, it's a different style of beer, and I know you're like, you're pretty committed to your like Miller High Lifes, but like a coffee stout or a coffee porter.
Yeah,
or
it's
like
different than
that.
drinking a coffee.
It's not a cat beer chino.
Heavy beer, though.
Not always. Not always.
Yeah, but I drink a lot of stouts. That's normal. Like I'm used to heavy beer.
A nice buzz beer. Actually, what? I know we have to do Drew Carey in the future. Do we know what kind of beer buzz beer is? Anytime it was seen, it was like a lighter beer, right?
They say it's coffee beer,
Yeah.
but they drink a lot of it, so I imagine it's got to be a very light
But like,
beer.
do we? We'd have to look back to see like what color it is in the glass, right? I assume it's regular beer colored.
Yeah, I think usually they have the bottles too, though, because they have the brewing. They have like the brewery in Drew's garage, so like you always get the brown bottle beer, so you can't see it.
Yeah, but what was Cat Beer Chino?
That was the alternate name they almost went with, right?
No, that was the other. That was the people that stole their idea.
Oh,
So
we cut to like that night, and it's like Eli, his girlfriend, and his dad ring the doorbell. I think it's that night. I don't know, but it's Eli's surprise, quote unquote, birthday party. So they open the door. Warner yells surprise. Obviously, Eli already knows about it because his dad ruined it for him before. And as they're all walking in, well, first we see Eli's girlfriend who's like, oh, you must be Warner. And he's like, don't learn my name. It's easier that way. This kind of goes back into the idea that you mentioned earlier that Eli's probably like a playboy type, which I guess doesn't really work.
It doesn't work for Warner's character, though, that he would be nice.
it's very similar to Sex Drive.
Sex Drive.
Yeah.
Ferg, it drives Ferg crazy that Clark from The Office is like a sex symbol in that movie.
It doesn't make sense.
It's one of the things that I know like bothers Ferg the most in the history of cinema.
He has a body by Cheez-It. He doesn't want that. We all have body by Cheez-It.
At least in this, you can make the argument that Seth Green's character is a successful like businessman with he owns a company.
But then you'd almost have to like play up the like how rich are they type of thing.
I mean, they seem to be doing well. You see Giovanni's house, and it's pretty nice.
Yeah.
And Seth's apartment is really nice.
Sure.
When you have an apartment and it has stairs in it, you have a nice apartment.
And he has a maid, like.
Right.
You can't go by any of that stuff in a sitcom though, because everyone has a giant house.
Yeah, I know.
and
Everyone's filthy rich, apparently.
That's true, yeah. It's like, what do you do for a living? It's like, oh, I like work like 12 hours a week, have this 5-bedroom mansion. Like, oh, okay, makes sense.
I shoot birds at the airport.
Yeah. What's your house look like? Like 10,000 square feet. Like, okay, on 5 acres. Oh, nice.
So after she walks in and like kind of joins the party, now we see David, Eli's dad, who's walking up to Warner, and they exchange pleasantries. And then this is the first time we actually see the fact that he is indeed a kisser and plants one right on his mouth.
See, this was my first laugh of the episode.
It was
It's
funny.
so fucking well done. He just does it. Hi, Warner, and just keeps going. Like the nose cell, the quickness. It's so fucking funny.
Because you would like it doesn't line up with him. Like I can see Crawford doing it, but not David.
Yeah.
The way that their fathers are portrayed. You know what I mean? You would think like, and maybe it's because like I'm almost comparing it to Daddy's Home 2. so I'm kind of looking at
John Lithgow.
Crawford is like John Lithgow's character in that movie, where I get like the more sensitive one.
Holy shit. They're the same characters.
It is very similar. Daddy's Home 2, underrated Christmas movie.
It's a great Christmas movie. I
I
suggest
have
it
not
to
seen
all of you.
either Daddy's Home movie.
I can't remember if I've seen those or not.
Are those Wahlberg?
Yes.
Oh,
Uh, Aside from Boogie Nights, I have a hard time with him.
Well, then you're not gonna like Ted.
That's true.
There it is. Yeah.
That's a good point. He kisses him and walks off. And Eli's like, did you taste the tuna that he had for breakfast?
Gross.
I was gonna say I can't eat fish. Is that a very common breakfast?
not.
That I don't
No.
know about?
No.
The only fish that's ever commonly used in breakfast is salmon, and I still find that to be kind of weird. And I eat a lot of salmon and tuna.
Is lox salmon?
Yes.
That's like a bagel thing, right?
Smoked salmon, yeah.
Yeah, you have the little salmon fillets.
And the thing is, like, I'm even like in context, like tuna is like one of those things. Like, I'm assuming with him, he's talking about like canned tuna. He's not like eating like, tuna steak or
Yeah,
like
probably.
sushi. That's not something you have like in your fridge from the night before. So like, is he just like waking up in the morning and making a tuna sandwich from scratch? Like,
We've been giving our cat tuna at night, so I do have tuna in the fridge, but it's gross. Turns a weird color.
well, why aren't you like, is it just coming out of the can? What are you doing
Yeah.
with it? So why do you have, well, wait, does it take multiple sittings? Is that why?
Yeah, so what we do is the cat's not doing so well. So in her last sunset months, she really likes tuna juice. So we've been
I know it's a cat, but it's still,
The cats love the juice and the gel. It's a weird
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
thing.
yeah, so like, so we have to give her medicine every night. And so we think that it covers up the taste of the medicine. I don't know. She gets the medicine and then she immediately darts for tuna. So what am I going to, who am I to say no? I am a good pet parent.
but a can of tuna lasts how many sittings?
2, because the dog now is trained to know tuna, and she will be very excited when we go to give the cat medication because she knows she gets tuna after.
Oh.
That's
Why
weird.
are you so weird?
What do you mean, why am I so weird? The cat's dying. Let her have tuna.
Well, no, cats love tuna. Like, that's like a classic cat thing. Like, we use tuna for like the holidays. Like, it's Christmas. You get tuna. They don't fucking know, but like, whatever. It's like a thing. But I don't ever think I've seen a dog eat tuna.
I will say most of this going on.
Can I
board
just
with.
I just need to paint a really disgusting picture that I think will probably gross Jay out more than anything. As we all know, Gordo's dog consistently licks Gordo's bare feet, and now that we know that she is doing this with tuna breath, makes it even worse. So fucking Gordo's dirty feet with fucking tuna dog slobber on them is maybe the most disgusting thing I've ever heard of.
It is for sure.
Also, Gordo, you're very grossed out by spit. Why do you let the dog lick your feet?
She doesn't stop. She's persistent.
Because he is like Warner and can't tell his dog no. The same way I was gonna say the whole point of this story is the reason the dog's eating tuna is because he feels bad that the dog's left out, that the cat's eating tuna, and now feeds his dog tuna for some weird reason because he doesn't want the dog to ever be left out of anything.
Because I'm a good pet parent.
But I always feel like dogs want like ice cream or French fries or burgers. I've never been like,
Oh, she's a trash can. You should have seen her the other day. You guys saw her.
A dog will eat anything you feed it for the most part, which is why you have to be mindful of what you're feeding it because they will.
I mean,
just
I'm not
eat
a dog.
almost
I've
anything.
never had dogs, so I don't know. But
Literally a trash can.
A dog did try to eat Joe.
According to Google, due to its high mercury levels, it should not be included as part of a regular diet for a dog.
But, it's only for as long as the cat's here. So,
Cat's dying, might as well kill the dog too.
All right, well, moving right along.
we killed the dog. Mercury poisoning. Oh no.
We get a flash forward to later on in the party, and now we kind of just see the two guys and their dads. The four of them are all just kind of huddled up and talking. And Crawford saying, and it would have been $1 billion deal if somebody had told me the correct pronunciation of Shiite Muslim.
It was a little low hanging fruit there, but it's kind of funny too.
Sure. We're guessing he said shitty Muslim, right? Yes.
I'm thinking yes.
oh shit, Muslim, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking shit, but
You're one of those shitty Muslims. Like, it's probably not going to go very well for you. Yeah.
Now Eli's dad wants to propose a toast. He's like, nope, dad, that's fine. Just enjoy the free food. But Warner's all for it. So he's like, no, speech. David gets up and he's like, first off, I want to thank your beautiful maid for making all the food. And she's like, I'm his wife. And then he goes on, well, when Eli was born and came out with red hair, I couldn't believe he was mine, so I had his mother take a paternity test. The test determined that I was his father, but with technology back then, who knows? Happy birthday, Eli. So that was the toast.
I felt for you, Jay, like that was a conversation your parents had at one point. Because you're not redheaded, but like you've got some red in your...
I was going to say, well, first, fuck you. Second, second, it's my beard, not my hair, which I did not have when I was born. So I don't think there was a lot of debating there.
But your hair is pretty fair, though, for a very Italian guy.
Yes, but I will say, when it comes to my beardless face, I have strong resemblance to both my father and to relatives on my mother's side. So I think both sides very confidently know that I am their kin.
Oh, I wasn't going weirdly like that. I was just going that, like,
My kin.
But yes, unfortunately, the beard does have a reddish hue, as I say. But my hair does not. My actual hair is not like that at all. No offense to anyone who has red hair. That's fine if it's for you. But as a young Italian man, it's I have to constantly explain that I'm not whatever people assume I am at all times.
Young?
I'm not young either. Younger than you, but not young.
How fucking dare you?
So now Eli's dad goes to give him a gift. He opens it and it's just a frame. Like Eli's father gives Eli a frame photo of himself. So it's he's like, oh, okay. He's like, you don't like it? He's like, you look like a disgraced science teacher. Like, well, that's pretty ungrateful.
It's also like a picture we would have gotten as kids 25 years ago. Like, it's got like basically the laser background behind it. It's very like...
But what I didn't like here is, he's like, after he tells him that it's ungrateful, he's like, what am I supposed to be grateful for? That time he introduced me to a woman named Deb as my new mom and then broke up with her 20 minutes later? We grew apart. What about the time you shaved my head right before we went to Disneyland? And his dad goes, we got a free lunch with Goofy, didn't we? Like, all these...
Holy shit, by the way.
Right?
Funny. It actually is very close to a story that Chris DiStefano, the comedian, tells about his dad, who they went to a Yankees game and he tried to pass him off as a special needs student.
I feel like there's like levels you can do that. Like we watched Look Who's Talking recently for the first time in a while. We watched like both of them, and there's like a scene where John Travolta takes Mikey's shoe and puts it in his jacket, and he's like, my kid forgot a shoe. Can we go back into the movie? And they sneak into another movie, and you're like, that's like a not bad karma way to do that. Like, you're still being a shithead, but like saying your kid has cancer so you can get in to have a breakfast with Goofy is fucking bananas.
You know how much money that is?
This was another time where they're just forcing these, like, this dialogue in here. Like, that's not like the logical chain of conversation where he would have started bringing it up.
See, my issue with it is they haven't had enough screen time together for this to be his explosion. Where, like, we needed to see him around his dad a little more, and this to be the last straw that broke the camel's back. But I think maybe 2 scenes together, and he didn't seem that annoying.
Again, it just felt like the timing at which it came up just didn't make sense. It was just, oh, that's ungrateful. Oh, what am I supposed to be grateful for? And him telling those stories were like so out of the blue and didn't really pertain to what was going on. And it was just more like they had those things written on cards somewhere and they wanted to just shove it in the script. So like, this is where they found a place.
Well, to be fair, like Seth Green's whole character, this show, he's annoyed at his father even before he shows up. And you don't know why.
Sure. Like, there is a point where he's like at boiling point before he even gets there. And he's been kind of like that towards his father from the rip. So like, I guess him exploding on him's fine.
And we're also talking pilot episode, right? Like, you have to usually you just shoehorn a ton of exposition in to be like, this is the story we're telling. And like, you have 24 minutes. So,
You got to show, not tell.
My issue is just, I just thought like a lot of times here, I just didn't like the way that the writing was structured to get us to these things. It wasn't even so much what's happening, but I just felt like the conversation felt unnatural at multiple times of the episode. And this was another time where, well, that's ungrateful. And then he goes into this whole spiel and like, I don't know, it just, that would keep taking me out of it because every time this stuff would come up, I'm like, this is not how a conversation would happen.
I'm just happy with people who are in the Family Guy orbit that this wasn't a bunch of...
You think that's bad?
Yeah, like that's what you expect, right? Like, and then it's him with Goofy being like, I'm sorry you have cancer, buddy.
That is not Goofy's voice.
I don't know Goofy's voice. I can't think of it. I know you love
Oh,
Goofy so
yuck.
much. I'm sorry.
Oh, yuck. Yeah.
You have cancer.
That was better.
These eggs probably aren't very good, but they cost your dad $400.
So,
Oh, you really got him.
Sorry, Gordo.
so they continue to argue here, and he's like, you're just like your mother. You have no sense of humor. He's like, well, here's something you might find funny. I'm leaving my own birthday party because of you. Good night, everybody. And then he walks into a room, apparently to get his jacket, but then runs right back out and goes, I didn't know that there's a sleeping child in that room. I just thought that's where the jackets were. And like the scene kind of cuts. I again felt like, all right, you're mad. You want to leave. I get it. I get your relationship with your father. But the way that like a man that age who, we've said they're probably about 10 years older than us, but this is a show from 10 years ago. So I'm looking at someone who's about my age while I'm watching this. Well, I'm leaving and it's your fault. I'm like, that's not like you're behaving like a child now. Like, so this, like, even if your dad's in the wrong, I can't side with you because you're behaving like this.
Not to go wrestling, but I always think of this because I think it's like one of the funniest moments in movie history. We may have talked about this before, but in the great documentary Beyond the Mat, where they cut to the whole Jake the Snake Roberts thing, where his daughter's just like reading stuff she wrote for him, and she's like, and to quote Sylvia Plath, "Fuck you, daddy." It's like, it's so fucking sad, but it's so fucking funny. And this to me just feels like Jake the Snake Roberts' daughter being like, "Fuck you, daddy." So fucking hard.
Jake the Snake doing a lot better these days.
And Sylvia Plath, I think, did she die in Winthrop? Or was she born in Winthrop?
She lived in Winthrop. I don't know if she was born or died here, though.
Guys, that was Oliver Platt.
One thing I'll say, Jake the Snake, his daughter might not be happy with how he was as a father. Jake had it way worse. His father was a fucking terrible human being.
Who?
Jake the Snake's father? Grizzly?
Oh, yeah. Grizzly Smith is like a historically
terrible person.
man.
Yeah.
He's like a worse than Evil Knievel dad.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yes. You didn't know that because you were not a 12-year-old girl 30 years ago. Ugh.
We'll talk off air. It's like too dark to even talk about. Yeah. So we cut to later, and it's like maybe, is it the next night or the morning? I think that night.
I think
Maybe
it's that night.
No, I think it's the next day.
No, because I feel like they're coming home and he's like having like a late night snack watching cable.
So anyways, we cut, and it's David, and he's in Eli's apartment, and he's like watching a documentary when Eli walks in, and they exchange glances real quick, and then Eli kind of walks behind the couch, and now like he's just silently miming like choking and decapitating his dad and kicking his dad's head, like all while his dad's like watching the documentary, like unaware of what his son's doing behind him for like a solid minute. It's like a long.
It went way too long. Oh my goodness.
Story of this show.
We mentioned it earlier, like just the jokes going too long. This was a very long, like all he had to do is like walk by, give him like a fake elbow and like keep walking. But
I think honestly, if he popped his head off and did the football kick, because the football kick is the funny part of it,
right.
he could have done it in like 8 seconds and you would have gotten everything out of this and not drained a minute of fucking watch time.
And then after that long, weird scene, we cut to Warner's, and Warner's on the couch and he's playing a video game when his dad walks in the room and he goes, "Hey, what are you playing? Punch the Puerto Rican?" Like, no, it's a boxing game we're developing. It doesn't have a name yet. He's like, "Oh, well, jot down Punch the Puerto Rican. Let the marketing people take it from there."
This show is like if Fox was like, we need to get our edge back, like our 90s comedies, but no one knew how to do it anymore.
Well, no, I mean, this kind of screams Seth MacFarlane, doesn't it? Like, he's like, he can be like cringe edgy.
This is Brian being like, "Oh, I used to work on a game called Punch the Puerto Rican," and they would cut back to some racist ass shit. Yeah.
Now it's been, I've said in the past, I hate Family Guy, but I think Seth MacFarlane's a better writer than this. Family Guy's written better than this.
It is.
Yeah. And Seth MacFarlane isn't credited as a writer on this episode, so.
I think Family Guy, though, the thing about that show is that they have one joke that lands every episode.
Yeah.
And if that's your hit average, it's not great. But when you do 30 seasons, then you have, 1,000 funny jokes. And I think that people sometimes mistake that where they're like, that's always funny. But if you watch 10 episodes, you remember laughing 10 times versus...
Well, their jokes land. They just have no context to the rest of the episode. So it's just lazy writing.
Yes. So that was that. I mean, this is South Park did the whole thing on it. But yeah, it's basically it's stuff brought up out of nowhere deliberately, and then they have those flash scenes, and there's no context, but it's just a way to basically all you have to do is have a funny thought, and you can shoehorn anything in any point of those scripts. They have a very basic script of what's happening, but all the jokes are cutaways that are like irrelevant to the story.
Yeah, where you can't do that with this shit. This isn't like Grounded for Life, which I feel like...
I'm surprised there weren't a lot of cutaways. Yeah, they really don't do any cutting in this show, which, knowing their style of humor, you'd almost expect that to be happening here.
Even in the Daddy No scene, when the wife is explaining it, she's like, if she said, for a guy who said, and it just cut back to him again doing the Daddy No, you'd be like, oh, that makes sense. That's like a Family Guy cut. But they don't do it, which is weird.
So they're talking here. Lot of Puerto Rican boxers. So, I mean, I guess in theory, I could see that he saw Puerto Rican people on the screen.
Well, yeah, no shit.
This is when Warner's saying, Dad, we don't work together, right? He's like, yeah, but we have a really special relationship. Like I see David and Eli going at it, and I'm like, wow, how lucky we are that we get along the way we do. And then that's when Warner goes, look, Dad, I know you think we're getting along, but and you see... He looks over at his dad, but now it's just a golden retriever sitting in the spot. So now he can't say the things he wanted to say.
I'm just saying it should have been a golden retriever puppy. Be a lot cuter and harder to yell at.
Either or works.
Yeah, a grown golden retriever is still a cute dog.
It's cute regardless. I'm just saying it would be a lot harder to yell at a puppy.
Ferg hates golden retrievers. Wow.
I didn't say that.
Ages.
I fucking hate you, Comet.
R.I.P.
So now he goes,
The Comet's long dead.
oh, dude.
That's okay.
I'm not glad he's dead. I'm just saying the show ended in 1995. That dog is fucking dead.
Yeah, so are his grandchildren, but
Oh, see, that's more depressing to me.
No, in Fuller House they have one of his grandchildren, Cosmo.
How long ago did that show end?
Gorda fed Comet the third some tuna and he died.
Nothing wrong with giving your dog tuna. The vet even said it was okay.
The internet says
otherwise. Does your vet make your dog get naked?
My dog is always naked.
Oh, what a fucking weirdo. God.
I think you're a bad parent. Put some clothes in that dog.
I do have plenty of clothes for that dog. Thank you
I'm
very
sure
much.
you have plenty of clothes for the dog.
Well, you said your dog's always naked, so what are all the clothes for?
Special occasions.
One would argue it's supposed to be the opposite, and you're only naked on special occasions.
Just your everyday attire. It's fine.
Anyways, Warner, now that he's looking at a golden retriever, can't, say anything bad to his father. He goes, no, you're right. We get along. I love you, buddy. And he starts petting the dog. Like, and I love you too, son. And now we turn back and it's his dad again, but now he's petting his dad, which I guess his dad doesn't find that weird. This was an all right callback. I mean,
I knew they were going to do this. I knew exactly how it was going to go. I knew the petting thing was going to happen. I don't know. This guy, his dad is way too intrusive. And yeah, he seems to be good intentioned, right? I understand that. But this also seems like something he does consistently. And there just can't be, the whole I can't confront my dad thing is just like a really dumb plot point, I think, because anybody would have had enough a long time ago.
Some points go to the dad only because he's never been told otherwise. He should be more self-aware, but it's not like his son keeps telling him to stop doing things and he keeps doing it. He just thinks that what he does is okay. Now, that's still bad on him, but he's not ignoring his son blatantly telling him to stop.
But that becomes hard to accept when the dad blows $1 million deal.
Oh, sure.
Business deal.
Yeah.
You're gonna get the fuck out of here, Dad. You suck.
And I will say to go back to just stylistically how this looks, the idea of the cutaway to the dog, whether it be predictable that it was going to happen or not, I like that this is the only sight gag we get the whole episode and that they're not doing this nonstop. Because I can see things like this happening constantly, and I'm glad it's not happening that way.
I'm also glad too the dog wasn't like a CGI version of him with like dog ears. You know what I mean? Like, I'm glad they were just like, we'll get a real fucking dog. We'll do a practical effect here.
So now in the next scene, we see Eli, who's excitingly dropping his dad off at the airport. He like pulls up and he lets him out and he's like, well, we had ups and downs, but came back on the other side. Bye, Dad. Call you next week. See ya. And like, he just like drives off screaming woohoo. And as soon as he drives off, you see his dad go taxi and then cut right to the next scene. And we see David in a hotel room. I thought it was kind of weird, by the way, that this was the very next scene. I thought we needed a little space between these, but
It's definitely too close together.
yeah, we needed some sort of a buffer, like back to Warner and his dad. But anyways, we see David in a hotel room and there's a knocking at the door and it's Eli. And Eli's like, Dad, what are you doing? He's like, how did you know I was here? He's like, well, I hit a red light on the way leaving the airport. And this is the only flashback we're getting.
This is the one Family Guy moment, yeah.
It's not a Family Guy moment.
No.
This was a normal flashback, and it made sense to the
It cuts
story.
to Seth Green dancing to no music in a car.
They probably forgot to pay for licensing.
I don't think it's music. It's not they forgot me. He's celebrate dancing. Like, my dad's gone. My dad's gone. Like,
Still, it's I don't know.
my issue is, how long is this fucking red light that he's at it that long that he hailed a cab, got in the cab caught up and was next to him.
In fairness, if you're at the airport, there could be a line of cabs right there.
That's true.
So he might have got
Yeah.
one immediately. So he could have been like 2 steps behind him from the rip.
Yeah, but we saw him speed off.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you catch all the lights though too, right? And if you catch all the lights, the person 5 minutes behind you makes all the lights, right? Like that's a weird math equation.
Magic and television, one way or another. We see him celebrating in the car. He's at the red light. Taxi pulls up next to him. He looks over. He sees his father sitting in the back seat. And he's like, no. And he's like yelling at his window, like, you were supposed to leave. Like, why did you do this? Blah, blah, blah. And
Good thing they both have soundproof glass in their cars.
Yeah.
we flash back to present again. So he's like, so what's going on, Dad? Why aren't you going back home? And that's when we find out he has nowhere to go to. He fell behind in his payments and he lost his condo. Bank took it.
So if you think about it, this completely changes the context of his gift being a picture of him, because he's poor and wanted to give his son something, and he grabbed what he could. all
He
he
had something, yeah.
Mm.
Ish. I'd say it would explain some other stuff. It would explain not wanting to pay the bill when he was out with Crawford and
Well,
stuff
that's
like
something
that.
that's something they've explained he's always done. That's not a poor thing. That's
He could have gave him
a
something
dick.
else that was from his house. Like, this is the blah, blah, blah. Like, this was, you know what I mean? Instead of the photo of himself, it could have been like, this is like, I've seen this in your house. This is like, you didn't buy this for me. Like, they could have did something like that.
I will say props here to the set designer because they do such a good job of making it look like the most depressing hotel airport ever. It's all
Yeah.
cinder block. You're like, nobody wants to spend the night
Yeah.
at a room made of cinder block. That is depressing as shit.
And I'll say, to me, this is a little bit of, we said earlier, Seth Green's acting didn't seem great. I think in this scene, it was pretty good. And this is when he's like kind of coming down from all this wildness. And he's like, why didn't you tell me? Like, I would have loaned you money. And he's like, do you realize how embarrassing that would have been? Like, to have to ask you for money and stuff like that.
Also, Seth never once gave an indication that he was someone who would give his father money.
That's true.
Yep.
He's basically openly hated his dad's fucking guts from, the beginning of this
Yeah.
episode. It doesn't seem likely that if his dad hit him up, it was like, hey, I'm losing the house. Can I borrow some cash? That he would necessarily be there for him. But his dad's telling him like, yeah, so I thought maybe like I could just come here and, how Warner's dad stays with him. But then I came here and we started arguing. So I kind of knew that wasn't going to happen. So here I am. And that's when Eli's like, look, Dad, I'm sorry we fight. It's just, sometimes I feel like you're rooting for me to fail. And that's terrifying. He's like, I'm the one who failed. I failed to keep my home. I failed to stay with your mom. I failed to be a real dad to you. And Eli's like, oh, come on. He's like, you're going to deny any of those things? No, but I'm going to say, oh, come on. I did like the writing in this scene. Huh?
Yeah, I didn't hate that.
Yeah.
And he's saying, it's not too late. We can try. And then he's telling him, like, get your stuff. Like, you can stay with me. Let's get out of here.
Ferg is the other dad on here. My kid is very young still, so like I don't have any sort of reference for this. But have you had any moments where you felt like you like let down your kid, and does that just like destroy you inside?
No, I'm a good parent.
Sorry, I brought it up. I forgot you shaved his head and gave him dinner with Goofy.
No, not really.
Because like I fear that, like that's like an honest thing. I fear like I never want to let them down. You know, like it's a thing that eventually you will, right? Because it's just like the order of life. But
Joe, you have a girl. She just turned 1, so you're about 11 to 12 years away from her hating your guts for about 10 years straight.
Yeah. Touche.
yeah, that'd be fun.
So just like, come to terms with it now and you won't feel so bad when it happens.
That's why I'm enjoying so much when I walk downstairs and she goes, "Daddy!" Like, yes, keep doing this forever. We're good, right?
But don't worry, they outgrow that, and then when they get older, they like you again.
Should be fun.
So, this before they do leave, we got a nice hug between the two, and they exchange "I love yous." And as we know with David, a nice kiss comes in. So
I feel like you had to, right? You had to do another kiss.
But yeah, no, I thought this whole scene, and I thought, we're seeing a better written scene, and we're seeing better acting alongside of it. So maybe when Seth Green has something that isn't terrible, his acting improves.
Yeah, I don't think Seth Green's a bad actor. I think Seth Green I think Ferg said it. He was overacting. I don't know why. Because he is a decent actor, I think.
Like I said, he's very similar to his Entourage character, which I think he overacted in that too. He was great as Scott Evil in Austin Powers.
Yeah, you're supposed to overact that a little bit.
He's great in that the generation before us doesn't give a shit about it all.
Airborne? Yeah.
Fuck yeah, Ferg. I wish I could high five you through this fucking computer screen right now. The greatest rollerblading movie of all time.
Well, you know what happened? He fell and hit his head on the devil's backbone, and that turned him into the version we have now.
And Jack Black got pantsed and then said brah.
So now this is like the final scene, and we see the 4 guys all walking through the boys' office, and Crawford saying, and this is their ethnically and sexually diverse workplace. Where's your gay guy? Show them the gay guy. And Warner points to the gay guy.
Again, this was like
who looks up at them and waves.
Yeah. This is like a dad shut up, not point at the gay guy. Like,
I'll say I'm not defending it, but I almost feel like you can somewhat attribute that to generational unawareness. You know what I mean? To like how not to say that.
Yeah, I don't hate this joke because it feels more just like a guy who is 70 being like, "It's good, you guys have a gay guy."
You can't say that when the young people have been offensive the entire episode. You don't get that get out of jail free card.
I think
that's fair.
I think Crawford being like, "Ooh, it's ethnically diverse. Where's the gay one?" Like almost an excitement. Like, look, they have everything here. It's like Noah's Ark. Is a little different than the 2 guys earlier being like, "Be Sailor Moon."
We've talked a couple different times, and there's one coming up too, where you're like, "What was the casting call for this?" But like, you are gay guy number 1, no lines. You look and wave. Someone's like, there was probably 30 people who auditioned for that at minimum.
I think he got paid for that.
Union scale.
He didn't speak, so not necessarily. You could be like just he gets paid regardless.
You got union scale for that because you're like featured at that point.
But you don't need to be like, you don't need to have like a
paid,
SAG card for that role or anything like that.
I think last time I looked it up, I think union scale works out to something around like $2,000 a week, depending on how many days you shoot. But like, so if that dude made $2,000 just to do that, he's probably on set for what, fucking an hour and a half, you know?
You'd be surprised. But so he waves, and they're talking about like, we actually had to expand this office a couple months ago because things have been going so well. And that's when David's like, yeah, they're going great now. But he's like, Dad, he's like, what? I was just going to say someday they won't be. I always kind of like, that's not an uncommon thing to happen in like scripts, but I do like the oblivious, wait, I was just going to say, and then they continue to say the offensive thing they were going to say to begin with. And then Veronica walks in and lets them know, hey guys, I think I fixed your screw up. The deal with the Chinese is back on. And like, really? That's amazing. How? And she goes, oh, that creepy translator texted me a picture of his tiny penis. So I threatened to put it online unless he convinced the investors to approve the deal. And then they're like, oh, great. And then it ends with just like, all right, let's see it. And then all the guys huddle around her, and the 5 of them all look at the dick pic and talk about it together.
This is the other casting. Be like, who are you? Be like, tiny dick translator man. Be like, okay, sure, I'm in.
And then I do like the comparisons as they're all looking at the dick. David says it looks like something you'd pick out of a salad. Warner says it looks like a cashew in a shag carpet. Eli says, and this is the best photo he took. Can you imagine the other 9 he deleted to get there? Crawford says, oh, this is nice. This is really, really nice. Now I see an inchworm in a little tiny fireman's hat.
And again, they had to go out with, hey, this is a funny joke. Let's do it way too long.
Yep.
I'm okay with all of them getting a turn, I guess. But yeah, they could have got away with just a couple. I do think the cashew in the shag carpet was funny. Something you would pick out of a salad was pretty funny.
What I liked about this is the actual act of everyone wants to see it, right? Because that's what feels real. Like if you found out that happened with a group of, like if all of us were here and it was like somebody sent this funny dick pic, you'd be like, let's see it. Like it's the immediate thing you do.
You know what I thought was the most like made it feel real was when Eli's saying that was the best of like the 10 he definitely took. Like
right. Get the lighting right.
Because like probably not a one and done, you know, take a couple, try to find the best one. Yeah, that was the end of the episode, was the group huddle and admire the dick pic. I guess not shocking for this show, kind of on brand. But yeah, here we are with dads. There's not a lot of info on the show. The show only lasted the 1 season.
There's no info.
Yeah, we had 19 episodes. You know, it's a pretty long season by like, I don't want to say today's standards because it was like 12 years ago, but even by 12 years ago standards, we're already kind of getting away from the longer seasons. So,
but they got a full season. Like we look at shows sometimes and it's like lasted 3 weeks. Like this went from like July to July, right? Like it had a whole year.
Yeah, we got 19 episodes out of it. Boy, this is definitely Fox for sure. Again, I'm not an easily offended guy. I'm not offended by anything that happened in the show, but boy, do they really rest on like really old style, like sexist jokes and racist jokes. There's a lot of that in there, a lot more than I expected from a modern sitcom, at least. I think this is, again, if you told me this was a show from the 90s, wouldn't bat an eye. But to see something that came out when it did with this stuff, I'm kind of surprised. You just don't see it anymore. Unless they advertise the show as like, look at how racy we are.
We made a raunchy show. Yeah.
I don't mind it. It's just in this show, it felt forced. It felt like they were trying to be old Fox, and they just didn't remember how to do it.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good point. Because I could see this working, but
there's a lot of things that could have made the show work. Again, we've talked about it at a good length. There's really not much else to say about it. So unless anything you guys want to add, we can get right into that green light or cancel. And I don't think anyone has anything. And Gordo, I'll start with you.
Oh, this is a cancel. Like easy cancel. I clock watched and kept wondering how there was 10 minutes left, 9 minutes left. Like I was like, oh, okay, well, we made it through a good chunk. And it was like 30 seconds. And I was like, Jesus Christ. The cast seems good enough. It's just shit writing and things going on way too long. They should have let a lot of the jokes sort of sit and marinate. And for that reason, I don't want to see another episode of this. I'm good with that. Cancel.
Nick.
Yeah, cancel. Easy cancel. Bad show. Bad writing. Not great. I honestly take out Giovanni Ribisi and Martin Mull, put them in something else. I'll watch it. But this was garbage. I don't even have a lot to say about it. It just wasn't fun to watch at all. Terrible. Don't need to see anything else. Not enticed to see another episode. Caca. Awful. Cancel. Bye.
Yeah, I'm also canceling. This isn't a weird one for me, though, because I do love this cast. Everybody in it, I think top to bottom, was like a great cast. I mentioned this really early on. I would have liked to have seen a show where it's not focused on the dads. I know it's called Dads. Make that less of a thing. I want to see more of the day-to-day at the office. I think a show with these two dudes, like in a video game company, could have been a really fun watch.
Mythic Quest.
A lot of like... We've done Mythic Quest. I think this is more of a multicam though, where Mythic Quest is like shot more like single. Would have been an interesting take. Grandma's Boy, you know what I mean? Like almost make it a Grandma's Boy, the series type of thing. But yeah, no, this it just seemed really forced. Didn't really work for me. I think the writing just wasn't where it needed to be, and a lot of head scratching moments with dialogue and stuff. So yeah, the cancel from me as well. Berg.
Yeah, this is a pretty easy cancel. Aside from about 3 minutes of Seth Green at the end, no character on this show was likable. And I was really getting mad at Crawford. Like, I don't know why. He really, really pissed me off. Maybe that was his job. I don't know. But I just thought everyone was unlikable. Everybody overacted, especially Seth Green, who we know is a better actor than that. And like I said, we covered Mythic Quest, which is an edgy show that far later, closer to now, and that did it right. That was in a video game place, like a video game company, and it had edgy humor, and they didn't have to say, Puerto Ricans, Asian, but it had edgy jokes that like you don't see everywhere now. So that's an example of a far better show. Yeah, the dads need to exist. I'm with you, Jay. I think it would be a better show just based on the company, but I don't want to keep rambling on because that's what I'm doing. Hard cancel.
Joe.
This is so fucking weird, but I liked the show. Look, there were things that were not good about this. Obviously, I'm not a fan of the racism and sexism, but I just think the cast is so good, and there's the little things that make you want to watch more. I just want to see Peter Rieger kiss people every episode on the lips. I want to watch 20 episodes of that. I want to see Rocky Dennis get brought up in a TV show all the time. The cast, Jay, you mentioned, the cast is so fucking good in this. Is people from like everything I watched when I was basically in middle school. That Thing You Do, fucking the best X-Files episode ever, Animal House. These people, I just feel like I am in love with these people more than this show, but I enjoyed watching it, and it's weirdly, I can't believe it, a green light for me. I didn't clock watch this, and I watched this on a day off at like 7 a.m. when I was like, I gotta get through this, and I still enjoyed it. The Daddy No made me laugh so fucking hard that it's a green light for that alone. Weirdly, a green light.
Well, with that being said, sorry to dads, but that's still only 1 out of 5, so you are being canceled. I want to thank all of you guys for listening. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers listening this week. So we'll catch you again next week with another new episode. Remember, go to S1E1pod.com. That's where you can find all the links to everywhere where you can listen to us, all of our social medias, our merch. Hit us up. We love hearing from you guys. We guys have been doing awesome just getting in touch with us and sending us more and more messages lately, and that's been super great, and we love talking to all of you, so keep it up. But yeah, we'll see you again next week with another new episode. Until then, thank you. Goodbye.
I think our best Father's Day.